Stories of the day, the diary basically in a nutshell. So first up, a minibus taxi driver facing culpable homicide charges after he ploughed into a group of school children is back at the Mtuzuma Magistrates Court. A couple belonging to the Jehovah's Witness group is expected back in court today to argue why they want their 5-year-old who suffers from sickle cell anemia should not be given blood transfusion. The religion does not allow blood transfusions. And the trial of 19-year-old Zander Bilsma will continue in the Mahikeng High Court. He's accused of murdering 2 schoolgirls in the hostels of the Stella High School last year. Okay, let's move on to trending topics now. Wow, quite a lot of them this morning. Okay, so let's start off with the top one. So we've got Danny Kaye trending. And no, it's not because he's released a new song. That's not what's going on. I think it's all got to do with this particular tweet. He put out a tweet saying, as a white South African, I am constantly witness to a lack of empathy by privileged white people around me. My tweet reflects my reality. The scales of privilege and opportunity are still not equal. If you think they are, then we may be living in different places. Album drops in 2020. Okay, so that now caused a lot of reactions, including Helen Zille coming out and saying, you need some spelling lessons. And then Danny responds by saying, when Helen Zille ignores a plea to call out racism, appreciative privilege, and chastises you over spelling. Really? Okay, so this has been a conversation for 2 days now on Twitter, and talking to white privilege and Danny talking out about it, and of course a lot of people coming out and saying, what are you doing? Why are you saying this? This is absolutely unnecessary. And other people coming out and saying, thank you so much for calling it out. Finally, someone speaking out that is white about white privilege. So yeah, it's a big debate. It will continue, but a lot of people just also asking, is this opportunistic to try and get trending and promote an album? And I'm not too sure. But anyway, there's so much. If you want to go in and have a look at it, go for it. That's what's trending there. Group 5 also trending, and this one is crazy. Again, I think just showing what companies are going through in this day and age. Group 5 enters bankruptcy protection and its listing has been suspended on the JSE. It's just a very tough time for businesses. So yeah, struggling Group 5 files for bankruptcy. It's quite a big one. I'm looking at a tweet from one of the top econ journalists saying, ironic that Group 5's market cap at the time of suspension was just under 100 million rand. In 2017, it said it had a 1.6 billion rand bid by Green Bay Lighthouse for its European toll assets, undervalued the business. So that's Group 5 behind that. And then there's this. I absolutely love. I think we've got it. Let's play this one. Woolies Water Challenge. Oh no, it's not playing. Oh, I'm as disappointed as you are. It's the most beautiful video. And then of course the reaction after it was just as great. So Woolies Water Challenge is 3 young guys or 4 young guys, I'm not sure how many are in the video, go in and buy themselves a bottle of Woolies water, and then they take a sip. And they, speaking, and then suddenly, as soon as they take a sip of this water, they are speaking the Queen's English and coming up with all these fancy words like metamorphosis and photosynthesis, and I think we're going to try play it again. I'm not doing it any justice. Let's try play it again.
Right, madoda. Mfethu. Othi ngiphuza amanzi asewulisi. But yazi amanzi abathe nepower. Phethe amanzi asewulisi bafethu. Phethe amanzi asewulisi.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking
Listen,
about.
James, wow, this is amazing. That is amazing. Wow, sir.
This is amazing.
I can't believe this.
Oh, it's a lot. I can't believe it.
This water's exquisite.
It's exquisite, man. Listen to that articulation.
Out to the world,
What metamorphosis?
Yes, yes.
Photosynthesis.
Put some emphasis on it, man.
Amalgamate.
Amalgamate. Diction and articulation. You know what I'm talking about. It's very important. The key components of communication.
Yes.
To keep it going.
Keep it flying.
Like the water.
Isn't it fantastic? So anyway, Woolworths got onto it and they are saying that I'm sure they want to work with the guys. They're absolutely loving it. And everybody has started doing what they, what they do best. So I actually saw a video of a white guy doing the exact opposite. He took a swig of the water in his very lovely English accent, and then suddenly started speaking in vernacular, and it was just fantastic. He's trending. And then somebody took it even further and had a swig of milk from Woolies, and then started putting on a British accent. She's saying, never mind speaking good English, I'm going to go to the Queen's language now. Anyway, if you want a nice smile on your face, go and look at Woolies Water Challenge. It's a fabulous, fabulous one. Okay, Cutting Edge, that was last night here at the SABC. And again, talking to pastors and what's happening in churches, well, in different ministries around. So talking about fake prophets, and it's gotten so many people talking, unmasking false prophets following the fake resurrection in recent days. So Cutting Edge went deeper into it and really did a great job in sort of talking to a lot of people, including a young woman who alleges that she had been paid to say she was HIV positive and wasn't actually. And then inside this particular church, they said, well, we've healed her, but it wasn't the case. Anyway, Cutting Edge, there are repeats all the time, so please do check that out if you can. SABC, I think that's talking to the financial situation of the SABC, and they talked yesterday that there would be no money in order to pay fees and any of the suppliers to the SABC, but a ministry coming through and saying that they will assist the SABC. SABC basically on the brink of bankruptcy. So yeah, it's a terrible time for the SABC.